Two eras, one aerial legacy. We're breaking down every single aircraft flown by Russian forces in combat, from fragile biplanes over the trenches to supersonic stealth fighters dominating modern skies. Starting off with early fighters. Nieuport 11, the first true fighter used by Imperial Russian pilots during World War I. It was nimble in dogfights, but quickly became outclassed by German designs. Next, Nieuport 17, the improved French fighter flown by Russian aces. It featured better speed and twin machine guns for increased firepower over the Eastern Front. Sikorsky Ilya Muromets, the world's first four-engine bomber built by Russia in 1914. This massive aircraft carried out strategic bombing missions deep behind enemy lines with remarkable success. Polikarpov I-15, the distinctive gull-wing biplane fighter from the 1930s. Soviet pilots flew it in Spain and against Finland, though it struggled against more modern monoplanes. Polikarpov I-16, one of the world's first modern fighters with retractable landing gear. Its stubby design earned it the nickname Rada, and it fought from Spain to the early years of World War II. Moving on to World War II fighters. Yakovlev Yak-1, the Soviet Union's first mass-produced modern fighter. It combined decent speed with excellent maneuverability and simple construction for rapid wartime production. Next, Yakovlev Yak-3, one of the finest low-altitude fighters of the war. French pilots specifically requested this lightweight aircraft, and German pilots were warned to avoid combat with it below 5,000 meters. Yakovlev Yak-7, originally designed as a trainer but converted into a capable fighter. It filled critical gaps in Soviet fighter strength during the desperate battles of 1941 and 1942. Up next, Yakovlev Yak-9, the most produced Soviet fighter with nearly 17,000 built. This versatile aircraft served as fighter, bomber, escort, and reconnaissance platform throughout the war. Lavochkin La-5, a transformed fighter created by replacing a troublesome inline engine with a powerful radial. It proved superior to earlier Soviet types and competitive against German fighters at Stalingrad. Lavochkin La-7, the finest piston engine fighter the Soviet Union ever produced. Top ace Ivan Kozadub scored many of his 64 victories flying this streamlined and deadly aircraft. Lavochkin Lag-3, an all-wood fighter that earned the nickname Guaranteed Lacquered Coffin from Soviet pilots. It was heavy and underpowered but remained in production when metal was desperately needed elsewhere. Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-3, designed as a high-altitude interceptor for bombers that never came. It performed well at altitude, but most combat occurred low where it was less effective. Petlyakov P-3, a heavy fighter converted from the P-2 bomber. Its speed, range, and heavy armament made it effective for escort, ground attack, and night fighting roles. Continuing with World War II bombers and attack aircraft. Aviation Il-2 Shturmovik, the most produced military aircraft in history with over 36,000 built. German soldiers called it the Black Death, as its armored hull and devastating firepower terrorized ground forces. Petlyakov Pe-2, the Soviet Union's primary tactical bomber throughout the war. Its speed often allowed it to outrun pursuing fighters while delivering accurate bomb strikes. Now, this is the Tupolev Tu-2, the pinnacle of Soviet tactical bomber design. Crews considered it far superior to the Pe-2 with excellent speed, handling, and bomb load capacity. Aviation Il-4, the main long-range bomber for strategic missions. Soviet crews flew Il-4s on the famous raid against Berlin in August 1941. Tupolev TB-3, an obsolete four-engine giant from the 1920s. It served in World War II mainly as a transport and paratroop platform despite being outdated. Petlyakov P-8, the only Soviet strategic heavy bomber produced during the war. Only about 90 were built, but they conducted long-range raids lasting over 18 hours. Polikarpov P-2, an ancient biplane that became one of the war's most effective harassment bombers. The famous Night Witches flew thousands of nocturnal missions that drove German troops to exhaustion. Moving on to early jet fighters. Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-15, the revolutionary swept-wing jet that shocked American forces over Korea. Its powerful cannons and high-altitude performance challenged Western air superiority. Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-17, the refined version with improved aerodynamics. North Vietnamese pilots used it effectively against American aircraft in Vietnam despite being subsonic. Next, Mi-24 MiG-19, the Soviet Union's first supersonic fighter. Its 330mm cannons made it deadly in close combat across numerous Cold War conflicts. Mi-24 MiG-21, one of the most produced supersonic fighters ever with over 11,000 built. It saw combat in virtually every Cold War conflict from Vietnam to the Middle East. Sukhoi Su-7, the primary Soviet fighter bomber of the 1960s. Indian Air Force examples saw extensive combat in 1971 despite short range and high fuel consumption. Up next, Sukhoi Su-9 and Su-11, dedicated delta-wing interceptors optimized for engaging high-altitude bombers. They emphasize speed and climb rate over maneuverability for air defense missions. Continuing with second-generation jets. Mi-24 MiG-23, a variable geometry fighter with swing wings for different flight regimes. Syrian examples engaged Israeli aircraft over Lebanon with sophisticated avionics and missile armament. Mi-24 MiG-25 Foxbat, a massive interceptor designed for extreme speed and altitude. Iraqi examples conducted high-speed reconnaissance missions that Israeli fighters couldn't intercept. Mi-24 MiG-27, a dedicated ground attack variant of the MiG-23. Indian examples conducted precision strikes during the Kargil conflict in challenging mountain terrain. Now, this is the Mi-24 MiG-29, a fourth-generation fighter with excellent maneuverability and beyond visual range missiles. Yugoslav examples saw combat during NATO operations over Serbia. Sukhoi Su-17/20/22 family. Variable geometry wings added to the Su-7 design. Syrian, Libyan, and Iraqi examples demonstrated effective tactical ground attack capability across multiple conflicts. Sukhoi Su-24, an all-weather strike aircraft comparable to the American F-111. Russian examples have conducted operations in Chechnya, Georgia, Syria, and Ukraine with terrain-following radar. Sukhoi Su-25 Frogfoot, the Soviet answer to the A-10 Warthog. Its heavy armor and diverse weapons proved valuable during the Afghan War and numerous conflicts since. Sukhoi Su-27 Flanker, a generational leap in Soviet fighter design with extreme maneuverability. Ethiopian examples demonstrated air combat superiority against Eritrean aircraft. Moving on to modern multi-role fighters. Sukhoi Su-30, a two-seat multi-role evolution of the Su-27. Indian Su-30 MKIs have seen border combat with Pakistan using thrust vectoring engines and heavy weapons payload. Sukhoi Su-34 Fullback, Russia's primary 21st-century tactical bomber. It features side-by-side seating and has conducted extensive precision strikes in Syria. Next, Sukhoi Su-35, the ultimate flanker evolution with thrust vectoring and modern avionics. Russian examples have provided air superiority and ground attack in Syria. Sukhoi Su-57, Russia's fifth-generation stealth fighter with internal weapons and supercruise capability. Limited numbers have been deployed to Syria for combat evaluation. Let's move on to strategic bombers. Tupolev Tu-16 Badger, the primary Soviet medium-range jet bomber for decades. Chinese, Egyptian, and Iraqi forces operated export versions in various conflicts. Tupolev Tu-22 Blinder, a troubled supersonic bomber with difficult handling. Libyan and Iraqi examples saw combat in the Iran-Iraq War and operations in Chad. Now, this is the Tupolev Tu-22M Backfire, a swing-wing bomber with supersonic speed and long range. Russian examples have operated in Afghanistan, Chechnya, Georgia, Syria, and Ukraine. Tupolev Tu-95 Bear, one of the longest-serving aircraft still operational, first flying in 1952. This massive turboprop has launched cruise missiles in Syria with exceptional range. Tupolev Tu-160 Blackjack, the world's largest supersonic aircraft and Russia's premier strategic bomber. It combines intercontinental range with swing wings and enormous weapons payload. Continuing with helicopters. Mi-8/Mi-17 HIP, the world's most produced helicopter serving in countless conflicts. Soviet forces used them extensively in Afghanistan for transport, evacuation, and fire support. Mi-24 Hind, a unique combination of armored attack helicopter and troop transport. Its heavy armor and powerful weapons proved devastating in Afghanistan despite vulnerability to missiles. Mi-28 Havoc, Russia's dedicated attack helicopter designed to counter Western systems. Examples have seen combat in Syria and Ukraine with all-weather capability. Up next, Ka 50/52 Alligator. Features unique coaxial rotors eliminating the tail rotor. Russian forces employed Ka-52s extensively in Syria and Ukraine with heavy firepower. Mi-26 Halo, the world's largest production helicopter with payload comparable to medium transport aircraft. It can lift vehicles, artillery, and massive equipment loads. Mi-6 Hook, the heavy-lift helicopter before the Mi-26. It conducted transport missions in Afghanistan where its exceptional payload capacity proved valuable. Moving on to transport and support aircraft. Antonov Un-12 Cub, the primary Soviet military transport for decades. It conducted cargo delivery and paratroop drops, while gunship variants provided fire support in Afghanistan. Aviation Il-76 Candid, Russia's primary strategic airlifter with 4 jet engines. It delivers troops and vehicles to conflict zones worldwide from unprepared airfields. Beriv A-50 Mainstay provides airborne early warning with a distinctive rotating radar dome. Russian examples have supported Syrian operations with air battle management. Tupolev Tu-142, a maritime patrol variant of the Tu-95 for anti-submarine warfare. Soviet naval aviation used it for ocean surveillance and submarine hunting across all major waters. Beriv B-12 Chaika, an amphibious maritime patrol seaplane with twin turboprops. Its ability to land on water allowed operations without suitable airfields for search and rescue missions. Finally, we have additional combat aircraft. Sukhoi Su-2, an early World War II light bomber and reconnaissance aircraft. It suffered heavy losses in 1941 due to inadequate speed and defensive armament. Aviation Il-10, the successor to the legendary Il-2 Shturmovik with improved performance. It entered service late in World War II and continued into the Korean War. Lavochkin La-9 and La-11, the final piston engine fighters developed by Lavochkin. Chinese examples saw limited combat in the early 1950s before jets replaced them entirely. Yakovlev Yak-38, the Soviet Union's only operational VTOL carrier-based fighter. It had limited performance and saw minimal combat use before retirement. Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-31, a long-range interceptor evolved from the MiG-25. It features powerful radar and remains in Russian service for air defense missions. Sukhoi Su-15, a delta-wing interceptor that served Soviet air defense for decades. It was involved in several controversial incidents intercepting aircraft near Soviet airspace.